Good evening and welcome to another stream. It's been a while since I've done 2 streams on a Sunday, but I realized I had parts for the LC2 even though I didn't think I did, so I figured why not? It's time for a second stream. So without further ado, I have the LC2, and don't worry, this is a new battery. It was not going to be a danger anytime soon. And, whoop. Oh. Alright, it does help if you remove the cables first. So while I am attempting to get the logic board out, say hello to everyone that's in the chat. So hello to Thomas, Jack, SadMac356, and a special dishonorable mention goes to autocorrect, butchering things we try to say every day in every way. Autocorrect usually becomes auto-mangle. Alright. Now that I have the logic board out of the LC2, now I've got to find a place to put the rest of the LC2. Oh, I think on top of the CI, 2 CI case is a good place. Alright. So this should be a relatively straightforward recap. I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit. So I think the image is dark. Actually, it's somewhat the color of this logic board. I don't know if I'm going to be able to improve that much more. Maybe I don't think changing the color of my light. Yeah, I think the light, it's okay, it's better zoomed in. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I know what it was. It's the stainless steel table I'm using. I need to get a larger silicon mat. The stainless steel table was throwing off the white balance of the camera. In fact, I think it might even be a little better if I move the silicon mat there so that now there's none of the table showing through. Alright, so this is, I think, a relatively straightforward repair. I'm going to zoom in a little closer. I did test this board. So this board did boot. I had sound. I had to use a Blue SCSI because the internal hard drive that came with this was dead. And I had to use the LC's power supply because the power supply that was in this LC was not only dead, but has a broken wire. Focus. I did buy a donor LC power supply board, so I will be able to fix that, but that's not tonight's stream. And I've got stuff sitting on top of it. Alright, so yeah, basically we've got capacitor junk and dust and lint that is stuck in it, but no signs of any significant damage. I had sound, I had SCSI, so I suspect, yes, and I think it has the most caps. That is definitely true. Because it has a bunch, because this is not all of, in fact, most of them are here. But there are a few more here. So again, I think there's probably some electrolyte on the board there, but I think mainly this is the part of the board that's really bad. So, looking at Bruce's recapping guide, I need one microfarad 50 volt, 47 microfarad 16 volt, 100 microfarad 6.3 volt, and 10 microfarad 16 volt. Hi Adam, welcome. I've got one of my pizza box Macs here. I decided to go a little less on the pizza box description on the YouTube video. I think my first video, I'm not sure someone appreciated me calling them pizza box Macs, even though... Hi Jay! I'm going to recap this LC II, just because I realized I had the caps for it. Ah. Well, the LC III is also a very nice LC. I believe it actually has a 32-bit bus. Unlike the LC and the LC II, that it's a 32-bit processor on a 16-bit data bus. I think the LC III actually has the 32-bit data bus. To which Jay would say, it's beige, I'm running away. And to which I would say, yes, but my generation grew up on these in schools. For many of us, this would have been our first Mac. So anyways, I'm going to take some Kapton tape to protect the plastic. I'm going to remove the 512K VRAM module. I'll set it on top of the power supply. Yes, it does look like a pizza box. Thank you, Sad Mac. That's why we call it a pizza box Mac. That's also why on the thumbnail for the unboxing, or where I took a first look at this, I put a pizza in the background of the thumbnail. I decided I was not going to do that a second time around. I figured the gag would only get... Oh, it was battery... Yeah, I wouldn't buy a battery-bombed LC3 either. Because I think I might... yeah. Some of those... Yeah, some of these pizza box Macs, just where Apple put the battery, it just pretty much guarantees that if the battery goes, it's going to cause substantial damage. Oh, cool. All right. So basically, I just want to protect the SIM sockets, the power connector, and you see here, especially the sound connector, because I've heard it's especially prone to melting, and because those capacitors are really close to it. I think that should probably do. And this corner of the PDS slot. Because there's one cap right beside it. And unlike on a video where the video is still in process, I put 2 layers of Kapton tape over something because I didn't want to did not want to blow the components off the board, but I think I have since realized that 1 layer of Kapton tape would have been sufficient. All right, there we go. Have Kapton tape. Have the smoke absorber. Grab my tweezers. Go ahead and warm up the I think that's degrees Celsius. All right. No, it's not fixed yet, Retro Techie. All right, so what's tonight's fish flavor going to be? Tuna, salmon, mystery fish surprise. Guess I'm about to find out. So I've got the heat gun set to 350 degrees C. Applying some gentle heat to the cap. And any day now, Cap. All right. And that's just the flux. All right, well, that one decided to go without a fight. So far, I'm not getting a fishy smell. Of course, then again, I'm not sure these caps were as leaky as the other ones. Also would. Now, Retro Techie, we treat our pizza by Max with respect down here. Even if they sometimes don't treat us back with respect. Yes, yeah, I'm coming up with a new hot air cooked salmon recipe. Yes. That would be one hazard of talking about the flavor of the cap of the day. Alright, now I'm sure I'm going to get a nice fishy smell on these, because there's plenty of electrolyte on the board over in this area. All right. Oops. How about, no, it probably does not taste like fish. I would not recommend trying. Even, oh, okay. There we go. That smelled like fish. All right. I need to position this slightly off axis so that so that the smoke absorber can better absorb the fishy awfulness. Oh yeah. That smells awful. Now I've got the smell of toasted electrolyte and fish. It's actually not a great combination. All right. Ah, that capacitor jumped a little. Alright, that one's off. That one's off. That one's off. That one's off. And there we go. Alright, wow. Uh-oh. And we've had some collateral damage. Which I've accidentally soldered to another pad. Alright, so I had a chip come off. I was afraid I was going to do something like that. Alright. But at least it looks like the chip is undamaged. Although it is covered in electrolyte. So, let's see here. Looks like everything else is fine. Yeah, the chip can have shiny new pads. Hopefully I will be able to get the chip back on. I will probably most certainly have to change soldering iron tips. Alright. At least. Please give the board a... Ugh. Okay, that looks gross. Yeah, I should have known. Oh. There we go. Yes, there was so much electrolyte in this part of the board that, let's just say that this toothbrush is now a really dirty toothbrush. Alright, it does look like, though, that other than the one chip, which I'm going to see if I can clean it so that I can actually, because I cannot see its orientation mark right now. Alright. Oh yeah, you can see how dirty that board was. Okay, I'm going to let it soak in some isopropyl alcohol for a moment. It is a good reminder there, Retro Techie, if you haven't entered the contest for the C64 Mini as my 64 subscriber giveaway. You have until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, March 31st to enter. And right now, if you enter, you have pretty good odds, because I don't have many entries, so you certainly have a better odds of winning a C64 Mini than you do the Powerball. I'll put it that way. Plus, you don't have to buy anything from me. Of course, I don't have a web store, so that it would be rather complicated for you to buy something from me at the moment, because I don't have anything for sale. But, of course, I still have to put in the rules that no purchase is necessary, so yay for the legal system. Anyways, the video link is in the description. Full details are on the giveaway video. And I just dropped the chip. Alright, at least it didn't go far. Unlike one of the screws to the floppy drive from my oscilloscope, which I still haven't found, but it's a moot point because I'm going to have to replace the floppy drive. It might have been repairable before I tried to remove the circuit board, but I broke one of the flex cables inside the floppy drive. It's the one for the stepper motor. I'm fairly certain that one's needed, so I will have to replace the floppy drive, probably. I don't think I can repair the flex cable. Alright. At least I have more flux. Alright. And I've got my goot wick. And let me see. Oh, no, I think I have. Yep, I believe. Yep, that is everything. Waste not, want not. Or something like that. Alright, so I'm going to clean these pads up. Luckily, they don't look too bad. The 2CI's cache card was worse. Then these. Oh yeah, I've put the... Ugh. Okay, I think I'm going to probably have to buy a new tip soon. I tinned this tip after I was done with it earlier today, and it looked awful. So, it might be the sign that I might need to buy a new tip. Alright, well, at least that chip's pads look really nice and shiny now. Excellent. Okay. Oh, that's not a pad for something I removed. Looks like Apple put a switch on the circuit board for something. Right. All right. Well, I think maybe I should get the wider goot wick out of my drawer. I bought some of the narrower goot wick just to give it a try, and at least for this purpose, I'm finding it's just a bit too narrow. As I keep slipping the soldering iron off the end of it. Alright, let me grab. There we go. Ah, yes. Oh yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay, so let's see, all those pads are cleaned. Let me get these 3 by the power connector. Yeah, I want to get... I do want to, at some point, get the... I think the better Hacko, but... Well, I can only buy so many tools a month. Yeah, I want to get the one where basically the tip and the heater core is part of the tip. Makes replacing the tips a lot easier on stream because I can just pull it. Alright, so I've got clean pads. Well, I do have this chip to deal with. Let's see if I can... gently blow it dry. There we go. Alright. Let me see if I can't... Well, I'm not sure exactly how to clean that, but I think I see the alignment mark. Okay, there we go. I see the line on it. Oh, well that's good. Hey Thomas, this little 8-pin chip here, is the line on the one side of the chip, is that going to mark the side that goes towards the notch on the silk screen? I'm thinking that's the case. Okay. It's actually a line on the one end of the case. Alright. Okay. I can probably get this chip back on. Just not with the tip I have on the iron. I think I got too big of a tip. On the iron. Alright, let me... That's actually... There we go. It's a 74 LS 08. So, whatever. Well, all right. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Why don't I see the pin there? Yeah, it's a little 8-pin package. And I'm probably going to have to switch tips to kind of clean up my solder job, but oh. Okay. Well, I think I got it. And by I think I got it, I mean I'm going to take a look at it under a microscope. See here, should be right about there. I think that one pad is connected to that trace. I sure hope. Yeah, I think it is. Alright, well, I think that looks like a good repair job. Alright, crisis averted. Okay, well, if it is a voltage regulator, then it doesn't surprise me there's a capacitor on it. Not sure what it's regulating voltage to, but that, I think the sound circuitry's over here, so... Alright. Check the capacitor pad to IC with a meter. Capacitor pad to IC with a meter. Oh, well that's... Yeah, I was kind of... Alright. One of the pads, the trace looked thin. Alright, well let me go back to the microscope view because there's also looks like I got a little bit much. Well, it looks like I've got a okay, so that I think I got a short. Oh, I think I got a short under the chip. Because there's like 4 pads that seem to connect to each other. Look up the IC pinout first. Okay. Well, I believe it's a 78L08A. not like alldatasheet.com. I thought that was a Texas Instruments chip, but I'm sure the ST version has the same pinout. Yeah, that is TI. Alright. Alright, so for the SO8... Oh! Good call, Thomas. Yes. Pins 2, 3, 6, and 7 are all ground. Yeah. Alright, so the 4 pads that I'm seeing a short on are supposed to be shorted, so... okay, and yeah, that's the ground on the capacitor. Alright, so no short under the chip. Alright, so this pin is... So that's VN. So that's correct. V out. Let's see. Let me try the via and the pad. Okay, that's got continuity. That's a no connect. That's a no connect right there, and that's... Huh. That's a... Oh, okay. Actually, those 2 end pins are no connect, so that usually doesn't happen for me. Although I still like my no connects to be soldered nicely. Or just ripped clean. Oh, well, I think that pad that you thought looked bad was the no connect that I just actually completely tore off the board. But that's fine. It's a no connect. Okay. I'm gonna leave that alone. It's fine. Let's go to recapping. So I'm going to get these 2 caps here that are by that first, because they run the most risk of me doing something. And yeah, yes, that truly was a no connect. Yes, it would be a +8. Alright, so... And on the audio circuit... Yeah, there's only... Alright. Oh, let's see here. I need to go that way. And that way. Yes, it is newer flux. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, I just opened a new tube of flux. I thought it was the same stuff I'd ordered before, but it does seem to have a slightly different consistency. Alright, so that is the 50 volt 1 microfarad cap. And I'm just making sure that I put it on right. Yeah, I did. That's the beveled edge. Alright. Yep, that is the... Actually, it's the 213. I'll probably have to order different stuff next time I order because they might be there. Well, they were out of it last time I checked. Plus, I seem to have not be doing as much lead-free, so I may just order the same stuff Bruce uses. This is the universal. Alright, so that is... Yes, it's more good. Yes, exactly. Gooey. Yeah. Okay, I think I now know what you're trying to say. Yes, it is more gooey. Okay, so let me go ahead and get the 10 microfarad 16 volts. I just wanted to get these two by the size. See here. Which I don't think this is the one I'm looking for. Nope, that's 100 microfarad. 6.3 volts. Alright, I'll come back to that. Yeah, I'm using 6337 solder. Yeah, here we go. Alright. Oh, multimeter, just go ahead and shut off. I don't even know where your power button is. My capacitors fell over. There we go. Alright. So I got those two caps. That looks pretty good. And we'll switch back to table cam view. This microscope is really kind of in the way. Alright, so I got the two capacitors that were near that chip. Chip is still securely attached. We are good to go. Alright, so now I'm just going to go down in... Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do... Now I'm going to do these in some semblance of order. So I'm going to get the 100... The other cap that there's only one of. Should be the 100 microfarad 6.3 volt. And that one is C10. Alright. Yep, because let's see, that's 10 and a 10, a 10 and a 10. So that's the 10th. There we go. Okay. And its positive is... here. Just trying to get the cap in the tweezers. Kind of get it on the board somewhat straight. There we go. And I'll have to remove that tape so I can actually see the solder pad. Give me one moment while I gotta, for the safety of the plastic, I need to turn this where I have a better advantage. Make sure I got a good solder joint on both sides. Alright. So that is the just double checking that I hold on. Something seems to be amiss. Oh, we're good. Okay. For some reason, I got the impression I put it on backwards. Alright, so that is the 100 microfarad 6.3 volt. I think now I'm going to do the 47s, because if I do the 47s, then the only ones left are 10s. Because there's just a bunch of 10s. Alright. 47s. And there are there's two 47s over here. So it's going to be this one and this one. And at least the nice thing about these are the alignment stripe is nice and large. So here we go. Oh, that's not quite what I wanted to do. Oh. Here we go. All right. All right. Let's clean up my mess a little bit. All right, so there's that one, and this one. Yep, and right. Well, let's get rid of some of that excess solder. Didn't really want to leave a huge blob of solder on these. Let's see if I can't maybe make that just a little prettier. Alright. That's better. Yep. But at least in that case it did not become detached. Because actually there's two 8-pin ICs. Or 3. But they stayed attached. Alright, and then the other 3 47 microfarads are by the power connector. So I'll just go ahead and get them. Not too worried about melting things at the moment, although famous last words. Okay, I'm going to have to turn this to an angle where I can see. Let's tack the component on. Alright, and then well, I didn't get that one on as straight as I wanted to, but whoa, that's weird. Oh, okay. Well, let me put a new cap on. Something was wrong with the terminals on that cap. Luckily, I have extras of these. Alright. And alright, there we go. Alright, that cap is get one more of those. That's why I always order. I don't think it was bad out of the bag. I think I did something to it that it didn't like. Once I got to look at what it was actually doing. No. There we go. Had to make sure I got it so I could actually... Alright. Yeah, it did that on me. I could probably... Well, it's not really wanting to push back into place, so I just decided to err on the side of caution and use a different one. Alright. And there we go. All right. Got those. Those were nerve-wracking. All right. So now that means everything else I need to attach are the 10 microfarad 16 volt, and I should need, I think, 9 more of those. Because I've already attached one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. And all right, I will try to do these so you can see what I'm doing, but some of these are although I think, fortunately, these caps are... Unlike there's 47 microfarad where... They're really bigger than the... They're like the absolute max that size to fitting. These, yeah, almost halfway. These 10 microfarads are actually really nicely sized for the pads, so there's plenty of room to position and solder. There we go. Make sure I got a good... See here. Next one is... Positive is going to face me. Alright. And the next one also positive faces me. Also, I have to say, between the 2CI and the LC2, there seems to be a very distinct difference in the way they laid the logic board out. It seems like on the 2CI, all of the electrolytic capacitors, they pretty much ran the same way on the board. So, it's like nearly all the capacitors, positive was always on one side of the board and negative on the facing the other. On this board, it's like it was routed for convenience, not elegance. I mean, I know both approaches do the same thing. But one looks neater than the other. Because actually, if you really want to see an elegant motherboard layout, the Amiga 1000. Whoever laid out that motherboard at Commodore, they really... Yeah, too many engineers in on the design. Yeah, it's probably about the truth. Yeah, the Amiga 1000... Now, its layout is like a work of art. All the capacitors and are lined up in neat rows, and the resistors, and it's like someone wanted to make an art statement with that computer as much as a computer statement. Although granted, since it uses a 68,000 processor, it was probably a lot easier to line everything up nice and neat with a 68,000. I think the later Amigas, I don't know that their motherboards are quite as neatly laid out. Come on. There we go. Oh yeah, the old, oh yeah, those older IBM PCBs, yeah, they certainly were built tough too. All right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. In fact, I think Adrian Black recently published a video of yet another IBM that he's acquired. And he pretty much starts the video off by saying, there's pretty much one problem with these capacitor, the tantalums. And sure enough, he was right. Although it was quite funny when he finally figured out which tantalum it was, because he'd completely overlooked the fact that there was one tantalum on the board that was black on the top. It kind of... Yeah, I think if you watch that video, and then you'll probably then kind of wonder why he didn't notice it sooner, because it was clear as day. Obviously, the tantalum that was shorted. Yeah. And there we go. So let me double check that I have 17 capacitors installed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, I've counted something that I didn't actually install. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. That one was already there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now I've missed something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Alright, so first I count 18, and then when I recount I get 15, but I know I've installed, pretty sure I got them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. Yep. So I'm just going to clean the flux off a little bit so I can just do one final inspection. But then I'm going to put this through the ultrasonic cleaner, which is, I guess that's kind of the one reason I decided that since I actually had the caps and I had the ultrasonic cleaner heated up. I mean, I'd turned it off, but it was still somewhat warm. I figured, might as well do it now because it'll take less energy to heat the ultrasonic cleaner back up. Alright, so anyways, I think that looks good. Test by fire. Now the conductivity test. Well, I don't have... Well, I'd have to go get the LC to test this. Yeah, it really does need an ultrasonic clean. Especially as much... Yeah, it's got a lot of goo on it. And it also has a lot of that flux on it. So it really needs cleaned. Which is good. That's why I've got the ultrasonic cleaner ready to go. But... it is recapped. It looks great. I got the 78L08 chip back on. This will be one nice LC2. Oh, there was one other thing, depending on what time it is. 11:17. I am almost crazy enough to do this, but the PSU was dead. It needs recapped and replacement wire harness. Oh yeah, now what did I do with the machine? Hold on. Yeah, let me go get the machine. It is... well, actually, yeah, let me try the braid first and see how that goes. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to go get the machine, but... yeah. So I will, so let me kind of use the braid to kind of wick some of the solder up. And then I'll use some IPA to kind of clean the flux off, and I'll go get the machine. Well, You know, that would probably work. I think I'd rather try the machine first. Because I'd be afraid I would do something. Alright, let me go get the machine. It'll take quick work of those vias, so I will be right back. Alright. So I've got the machine. Well, that, heat the hole and then hit it with compressed air, that would require me to have an air compressor, I believe. Yeah, I might have got... I think I did get the solder out of one. Because this right here had only flux in it. So yes, solder braid, 1 out of 68. And if anyone's wondering why we call this the machine, that's why we call it the machine. Actually, if I had an air compressor, I probably would try that method. Huh. Yeah, this is the real Hacko one. Yeah, the only clone I have is the smoke absorber. Come back and try that one again. Well, that one may be on a ground plane. Okay. Well, this one says made in Japan. Yeah, my clone smoke absorber does say made in China. Yeah, some of these I may have to try some of these from the other side. Or I may just need to heat them longer. Also, it'd probably be good to just double check that. Oh. Some of these I may just need to get the solder needles out and... Hi, Strider. Welcome. No, I haven't seen your message yet. But I will take a look for it. Anyways, I am desoldering, or I am removing the solder from the vias on the unpopulated FPU location so that I can put a socket on this board. Because I'm actually kind of surprised Apple even put an FPU socket on the board. I don't know if maybe at some point they considered shipping it with an FPU to improve performance. Or maybe they had education customers that wanted an FPU, or indicated they might want an FPU but ultimately didn't. I don't know. Ah, the Performa 400. Did the Performa 400 ship with an FPU? Or with a socket on it? Yeah, that's probably... Yeah, that's probably it. Apple wanted to give themselves options. I actually saw a Fast Math PDS card show up on eBay. It actually went for what I thought was a crazy amount of money. Because all it did was give you an FPU. Alright, none of them shipped with... Okay. Well, maybe I'll try some of these from this side, because... Ah, okay. There we go. Now I won't forget. I'll just have to find the point in the video where I showed it on screen. There we go. Where's the solder? There we go. Some of these problematic ones, I just may need to add some solder first. Yeah, no, but I think it's just the way they do, way they put these circuit boards together. It inevitably means the empty vias are going to get solder in them. But it also means I don't have to go find a network card with an FPU socket on it just to use an FPU. Yeah, I may have to get a LC475. Is that the one that's got the monitor on it? One can dream. I mean, I've got to do something with my 10 megabytes of RAM. My whopping 10 megabytes. I'm going to try an experiment here. See if adding some solder makes those remove any well better. Oh, okay. I think Adam was joking earlier this afternoon that he was going to put 3 Mac 2X's together and have a Mac IV XXX. So if I was good at Roman numerals, I would come up with the Mac model that would be 4 LCs tacked beside each other. Because I think LC is a valid Roman numeral. I guess. Because that would just be craziness. There we go. Alright, any of these that don't desolder quickly without added solder, I'm just going to add solder to them. That'll be faster. Alright. For whatever reason, probably old solder. I'm just going to add a little solder to each of these that I haven't been able to clear. I think it will, in the end, expedite things. Seems counterintuitive, but if you're having trouble desoldering something, adding solder can help. I think that's because it actually, it's older solder that's had electrolyte or something contaminate it, and the lead is turned to a lead salt. I think adding solder can get it back to an eutectic mixture. Yeah, the metal's oxide. Oh. The black gloves because no one wants to look at my chapped hands. And because the solder flux is sticky, so if I get too much of it on my gloves, I can take them off, because I don't have a sink down here in the basement. Ta-da! All right. So let me... Oh. Yeah, I keep forgetting. All right. Oh, that's... Alright, now let's see if I can get the socket lined up. Oh, of course. Got one hole. I tried braid. It was not clearing that fast. Maybe if I'd added solder, it might have gone faster. I would have gone through a lot of braid, though. There we go. So if you're installing a socket, you just want to make sure that there's a white dot on the logic board. Also, the via is square, and then there's an arrow. So the arrow in the socket points to the white dot. That's the alignment. Oh, and the Kapton tape I'm looking for is on top of my bench. Well, in this case, SMD sockets weren't really an option because it's a through-hole socket position. Alright, so that should hold that in position long enough for me to tack some pins. FPU I think runs at the same speed as the CPU. Oh, I think I'm going to have to add flux because yeah, I think on the 68, yeah, the 68K machines, it's same as CPU clock. But yeah, on some of these early platforms, though, yeah, some of the FPUs did not run it. The CPU clock. The 286, for example. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I will. Well, this board's going to have to go through the ultrasonic cleaner, but yeah, I'm still don't want the flux to do that. Yeah, I'll use some isopropyl alcohol to start the cleaning process. I did apply too much flux. Probably partially because I realize what time it is, and I guess kind of when I started streaming, I somewhat forgot that, oh yeah, by the way, don't forget to install the FPU socket. think the flux I'm using is made in North America. Made in... Oh, made in the U.S. Okay. That would explain why there is an American flag on the bottom of the label. Although, that's not always the case. Because there could be some product out there. It does, but the solder did not want to flow for some reason without more flux. It was just... It was not flowing down the via. It was just sticking to my soldering iron tip. Well, I bought it a couple months ago, but yeah, it could be old solder. Still, I don't know when it was stocked at Amazon. So, yep. That's what I use. Yeah, I'll do that. Well, I think it's fine. Let me see if I can't deal with the horrible mess that I've created here now. Also want to make sure I got everything. Yeah, I bought the solder from Amazon, so yeah, there's no telling where in their warehouse it sat for and how long. I don't know if there's a date on the... Yeah, I can't tell when the solder was manufactured. I mean, I wasn't having trouble with the soldering other things, but for some reason, this connector needed some flux. I'm wondering if maybe there's something on the pins on the socket. All right, I think it looks good. I don't think I've got any issues under the socket. But anyways, this board is going to have to go in the ultrasonic cleaner. So, with that is the repair and the FPU socket. So once... Yeah, it's possible the pins on that socket weren't tinned. Or weren't tinned very well. Oh. Okay, I don't think that solder was 10 years old. And I haven't immersed it in water. And I don't think my basement's humid enough for it to go bad that quick. I keep the dehumidifier on 50%. It was a... Hold on. Let me find the package it was in. It's a... Pressy dip. That's what socket that was. Because I think they were out of the 3M sockets. I would have preferred a 3M socket, but I think they were out. So I had to go for Pressy dip. So I think my theory on why I had to add flux is because it's a cheap socket. There's other sockets that I've soldered that were cheap, and I had to add flux. So I bet the leads on that socket just weren't tinned very well at the factory, or possibly not at all. So, anyways, so with that, that's the LC2. Got the capacitors replaced. I've got an FPU socket. I have an FPU on order from UT Source. I placed my order with UT Source like a few hours before the Chinese government closed Shenzhen, so my order probably won't have a chance for shipping for another week at least. Although I guess the good thing is that once they reopen Shenzhen, it should be one of the first orders to be shipped, because it will have been one of the 68882. Shenzhen closed. So not all of China, but the part of China where UT Source is currently closed. It's a 68882. Yes, yeah, it's due to an outbreak. So the email I got from UT Source said that they anticipated they'd be closed at least 2 weeks. So, yep, that's... So, yeah, I know Joe was trying to order something, or needed to order something, and I mentioned that to him, and I think he found another place to order items. Yeah, I'm watching what I say, because I know YouTube closed captions things. Also, I'm not in the partner program, so if I accidentally say something in one of these videos that just flags it as ineligible, it's not as big of a deal. I'm sure something I say at some point will irk YouTube. I just try not to make a habit of saying things that could irk YouTube in terms of the not letting you monetize videos. Anyways, that wraps it up for what I was going to do on stream. I am going to try to quickly cycle this through the ultrasonic cleaner, because it should be warm to temperature, and it's kind of late. What doesn't irk YouTube these days? Yeah. Dancing kittens without musical accompaniment. And even then, I'm sure somehow that might irk YouTube. Yeah, what doesn't irk YouTube these days? I have no idea. Anyways, so with that, I'd like to thank you for joining me for a second Sunday stream. So if you like this video, smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed, well, why don't you? I have plenty more Macintosh things to do, plus other non-Macintosh things. And as always, I'm glad you all joined me on stream. How dare you let your kitten dance? Yeah. All right. So y'all have a great evening and hope to see you next time. Take care.